Okay, I couldn't be fucked to open OBS, record some random words, and then download the game highlights. Wait for the game highlights to be uploaded, first of all. Download the game highlights, open my editing software, put it on top, and then upload that, and then wait like an hour for it to upload. I'm getting kind of bored of making these. I mean, it's good that the games have been competitive recently. The last 3 games have been good to watch. But yeah, no, the problem is like the games just don't matter anymore. If they'd won tonight, which they didn't, but if they'd won tonight, they would have been within 5 points of the final playoff spot in the North Division with 1 game in hand, which isn't very good circumstances to be in, but it at least gives you reason to still want to tune into the games and still talk about them. But now they're 7 points out. Or no, sorry. If they won, they'd have been 5 points, which means that going in, they were 7 points out. Now they're 9 points out because Edmonton is holding the last spot, and now they move 9 points ahead of them. And the record is, I've made notes for this game. Normally I didn't do this, but I scribbled some words down. And the record now is 2-10-1? Something like this? So that's 2 wins and 11 losses, which is not ideal. However, they did not allow a first period goal this game, which is the first time in 10 games they've not allowed a first period goal. And they scored first. I can't believe it. They scored first. Evgeny Dadonov, sort of. He took the aerial pass from Brady Tkachuk, and he settled it down, and he backhanded it into the net. Well, he sort of... No, it wasn't really him that did it, was it? No, it was Adam Larsson trying to defend the play, who actually put it in the net himself. Larsson had a very interesting game. He scored a goal on his own net. He went top shelf on his own net. And then later on in the game, he took a penalty for puck over glass, but it wasn't a normal puck over glass penalty because the puck was in the air. He whacked at it with his glove. I didn't realize... I mean, it makes sense, but I don't think I've ever seen someone get a puck over glass penalty for hitting it with their glove. And they were arguing about whether he was inside his zone when it happened. Penalty. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Puck over glass. Pug. There you go. Right at the beginning of the game, for seemingly no reason, number 16 fought number 16. Watson fought Jujar Kara. I don't know why that happened. It didn't seem to be caused by anything. They seemed to decide they want to fight. And to exacerbate matters, Eric Goodbranson fought Zach Kassian. Again, for no particular reason. And Kassian ended up leaving the game. And both Watson and Goodbranson had to go. Fighting sucks. Fighting really just sucks. I don't enjoy fighting. Anyways, what else do we got? Mike Smith played his first game of the season, and he had a very good game. He, very early in the game, he came out to challenge Connor Brown when Connor Brown he would have had a clear breakaway if Smith didn't do anything, and he beat him to the puck. That's what Mike Smith does. He's unbelievably aggressive. And he had a good game. He made some great saves. But, very early on in the game, he was abandoning the pretense of playing goal normally, which is what he does, I suppose. And Matt Murray had a good game. It's the 3rd game in a row that I thought he's been very decent. He made some key saves, especially in the second period, where they did fall apart a little bit. And falling apart, they had several chances to clear the zone on that Draisaitl goal near the end of the second. It ended up being Brandstrom who kind of got stretched out. He tried to make a defensive play. He turned the puck over. I'm not sure that's really his fault. I think you just have to clear the zone before that. Puck comes to Draisaitl. He's all alone, and I mean, the defending players were just, yeah. It's not a good time for anyone, and not a good time for Matt Murray either. Draisaitl goes 5-hole. You could argue that he should have stopped it, but you could make a stronger argument that they just should have cleared the zone to begin with. What else do we have? Yeah, so that was... I've got all my topics written on a piece of paper. That was Brandstrom. Brandstrom also had he did something later on in the game that I was impressed with. The penalty kill was good. They took a bunch of penalties, which they have to stop doing. Everyone needs to stop taking penalties. And it's not even just the idiot veterans that we like to complain about. It's Shabbat, it's Tierney, it's... Who else took penalties this game? Zaitsev and someone else. But they got to stop with the penalties, and especially Shabbat has taken a lot of penalties this season, and that needs to stop. But the PK was very decent this game. Power play disappointed a little bit, but that's okay. They didn't have that many opportunities this game. By the way, one thing I wanted to mention, right near the end of the game, I think there was a couple minutes left or something less than that, the Senators were pressing, trying to tie the game, down by a goal. The Oilers' net comes off its moorings, and because it was Colin White that pushed the net off, technically speaking, they brought the faceoff outside the zone. But on the replay, they showed Chris Russell basically cross-checked him in the back, and there's not really much White could have done to avoid falling into the net and knocking it off. So that was... And then, yeah, I mean, that's not what decided the game, clearly, but it's very unhelpful that, you know, the faceoff came outside the line when you're trying to press to tie the game. What other subjects do I have? Oh, yeah, Connor Brown had a breakaway. He didn't get scored on. If Connor Brown could learn to finish these chances that he gets, he could be a really, really good player. I already think he's a good player, but he could be really, really good if he learned to finish. And then the third period, Tyler Ennis, first goal of the season, makes a nice move around Shabbat. Shabbat falls down, kind of a miscommunication on the line change. Watson sort of gets caught up and Ennis scores, and that's his first goal of the season. Former Senator. They got my video cut out for seemingly no reason, but they got a fifth for him, which wasn't bad at the time and still isn't bad, but it's nice to see him revive his career a little bit. And that made it 2-1. They tried to score the tying goal for a little bit. They couldn't do it. Shit's gonna happen. And then I gotta add this to my scoring summary. 3-1. Draw my little Oilers logo. Goal scored by Archibald. Into the empty net. And that was the end of the game. I mean, first period, it was nice they got off to a reasonable start that wasn't, you know, catastrophic or allowing a goal in the first period even. The second period was bad. But they got out of it tight, and they even led for most of it. And then the third period, they allowed the goal. But, I mean, again, this is the thing, you know, now that we've given up on pretty much making the playoffs, we're looking for competitive games. And if the goaltending holds up, if they look like they're, you know, not completely hopeless and the young players look good, which they more or less did in this game, then we're okay. But it is sort of hard to talk about them losing every night, especially since the games are starting to increasingly not matter. I guess they're going to be at it again tomorrow night. They play Edmonton again. They did better this time than they did last time against Edmonton, so we'll hope to maybe cap that off with a win tomorrow. That would be nice, wouldn't it?